factory use of the structure. There are 128 farm shops available. Franchisee will have to prioritize on selling and hiring of farm inputs and selling basic food and essential commodities. The EOI will be assessed based on the specifications notified in the EOI template. The EOI template can be emailed to ktenzin@moaf.gov.bt within 15th of December 2022 before 11 a.m. For more details, please call 02322909 or 17551028 or 17675401. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service is looking to recruit 3 assistant ICT officers to manage our company's computer and server systems. As an IT engineer, you will be responsible for hardware configurations, installing software, managing network systems, and training staff on correct operating procedures. BBS is a broadcast company and you would be responsible for learning how to maintain the broadcast servers and related equipment. Interested applicants must have minimum qualification of Bachelor in Computer Science or Bachelor of Science in Information Technology or Bachelor in Information Technology or BE in Information Technology or Bachelor in Computer Application. Interested candidates may apply along with all relevant documents within 16th of December 2022 before 5 p.m. The written test will be held on 24th of December 2022. For any inquiry, please contact the HR section at 02322600 during office hours, or you may log on to www.bbs.bt.
The Bhutan Broadcasting Service would like to re-invite bids from eligible bidders for the supply of music gadgets. A complete set of bidding documents can be purchased from the procurement section during office hours. Tender documents must be submitted within 29th of November 2022 before 10:30 a.m. and it will be opened on the same day at 11 a.m. For more details, please log on to www.bbs.bt or call 02322600 or you may email at procurement@bbs.bt@gmail.com. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service would like to re-invite sealed bids from eligible firms for the supply of encoder decoder sets. Tender documents must be submitted to the procurement section head office of BBS in Thimphu within 29th of November 2022 before 10:30 a.m. and it will be opened on the same day at 11 a.m. A complete set of bidding documents can be purchased from our procurement section during working hours. For further information, please log on to www.bbs.bt or call 02322600 during office hours, or you may email at procurement@bbs.bt@gmail.com. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service is pleased to announce that a national quiz on science and technology is being organized as part of the National Day celebrations this year. The aim of the quiz is to impart knowledge on science and technology in a fun format. Therefore, BBS would like to seek sponsors to fund the nationwide quiz on science and technology. Your contributions will be highly appreciated as it will greatly improve the standard of the quiz show. The sponsorship pledge can be made immediately till 30th of November 2022. Please call 1764 4457 1797 9567 1767 2937 or 1736-5147 for your sponsorship pledge for the National Quiz on Science and Technology 2022.
Kozambola, I'm Junizok Selden, and you're watching Bhutan This Week. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King appoints new Secretary for Land Commission and Zondas for Thimphu and Pemagatsal. The central monastic body arrives in Punakha, their winter residence. And new education loan product formalities confuse applicants. His Majesty the King has appointed the new Secretary of the National Land Commission and the new Zondos for Pemagatsal and Thimphu Dzongkhas. His Majesty granted tha to the new appointees at the Tashi Chezong in Thimphu on Wednesday.
The new Secretary of the National Land Commission is Tsiring Gelson Panjo. He was previously serving as ambassador at the Royal Bhutanese Embassy in Brussels, Belgium. The new Zonda of Pemagatsal is Tashidawa. Prior to his new appointment, he was serving as the director of the Road Safety and Transport Authority. And Phupdoji, who was the chief executive officer of the Bhutan Development Bank Limited, has been appointed as the Thimphu Zonda. Yisha Gelson, BBS News.
The central monastic body led by the Doji Lewe has moved to the winter residence from Tashi Chezong. The monk body arrived in Punakha on Thursday after staying the night at Tilega. They will reside in Punakha for 6 months. The National Assembly endorsed the government's proposal of fixing property taxes at a uniform rate of 0.1% on taxable value, despite some members expressing concerns over cascading effect of the imminent act on house rents. Some members of the opposition suggested reducing the rate by half or more. When the new property taxes come into force, a landowner in Core Thimphu town along the northern Lum will have to pay around 26,000 ngutum for a 10 decimal plot as land tax. This is an increase by almost 12 times. The rate is 2,175 ngutum up until now. However, taxes will differ from place to place depending upon the minimum basic infrastructure provided, among others. Opposition members said starting at a lower rate would be better, as the proposed 0.1% would be hefty for taxpayers.
Gozubda publigibe te kadimchibe cha da lekor din ngabe 0.075% be te nangthapchi yubachin suigi samchar da te dudip sumchibe pido se shunil
donsep na be chindi lekor sa lekor nga bevdi dato shungi bemeledi pshi mapap bevdi ti bewchindi gadibe samga se.
The Finance Minister Namgyal Sring said the tax rate of 0.1% on taxable value of properties is fixed after analyzing rates in developed and developing countries around the world. He also said the contribution of property tax to total tax revenue is only 0.26% as compared to 80 to 90% in some other countries.
International best practices Jeminalu take its hejidi katelu jabachin sultum midachka milu dapsi machapchi te jungi tarchu bedi beru dinalukangi mathum chigi hejidi saudalu zambulina sanimi ngacharagina lunchona sanimi nyungthadi te lekur chachi jami diletendi in seshunil di ngachigi shitensi di jungegi gonsegu kebe judalu tronsebda ngachigi thomsoge sago se eopchigobdi minu se gonsegira eopchiti bedanyu se.
Building taxes in rural areas will see a big concession. However, those in urban centers will see surge due to higher valuation and rental income. Members said this could lead to building owners increasing rent.
Dewa yubegi lede disogi ngachiragi chimgi khanladi teta dile yata zenigi membershina tetieta ngachira cheji chibe zodi gibe jagobigi te shuwachi tensuchi tana phuin shuni
khangla khalu demi lache khalu demi teta na jungyop shiop senemendu chongpa senemendu teta name sami go gongche chelegi asobachen te dile tapma de bombera theong.
The Finance Minister said house owners wouldn't be able to increase rent to their liking, as higher rental income would mean higher taxes.
Lochinalu chimgi khanladi phika khanla tadamgi nale wombob kadimchi winga ande chika domdibe bewi se shunila ta chimgi chodagi khanladi sindibe asu dochbajin Tegi sejidi ya sindra jung se shunila chimgi khanladi te kago kadebedi ya simisu se chidiani se shunila tab jemdi ro chimchamigi joda ditsulu ikene meo se khora chimgi joda ditsugi lotargi wombobgi thedi tabegi namdi dinalu ngachegi deductible expense papchagi te lamlu ditsu kaira ransogi paphungi thegi nalu sudiyu se shunila.
The House, after a lengthy deliberation over the last 2 days, endorsed new property tax rate at 0.1% of taxable value of properties as proposed by the government. The House also agreed to impose an additional charge of 15% on the amount of land tax if the land in urban areas remain vacant 2 years after urban services have been provided. The House will continue deliberations on remaining sections of the bill on Monday. For Kipchu, Pupke, BBS News.
Against the backdrop of rising prices for goods in the market, the Economic Affairs Minister was quizzed on the ministry's plan to control the price. The minister said people should limit their expenditures on unnecessary goods and focus only on necessities. The Karyurung's Member of Parliament raised the concern during the question-hour session in the National Assembly.
The ongoing discussion about pay hikes and taxes in the parliament reportedly increased the prices of commodities in the market. According to Karyurung MP Phuntsholing, this has made lives hard for many people depending on a fixed paycheck. She says this is also one of the reasons youth are leaving the country. Responding to this, the Economic Affairs Minister said there is not much price hike for essentials, although non-essential goods are becoming expensive. The minister said people should avoid buying non-essential goods to see through the difficult times.
다레탑마도 텐 인플레이션 디수 텐 배우다 뇨고미 잘라디 된 똑똑에 뇨고미 잘라 자통기 리두시디 뇨라 뇨고벨라 깝 골라디수란게 알로출루고 पेछतामी लोकजागी देन लुगो बे वाचिन न्योरा न्योगो बे जेन चाला देसु दे अचीची मान्य बे छमचेची बे जादारु ते दी इन्फ्लेशन लु नामसमे फेन्थों दी इन्फ्लेशन तब म दे मिथन से सुनि बेला दी गोंसे यासिन जु माजुनी की देन थाबलमची दी से सुनि बेला.
The minister also hinted at preparing for possible recessions in the country. He said saving money during the inflationary period will cope with recession. For Ngaung Tenzin, this is Pemal Harden, BBS News.
The government's plan to open 3 more entry points at Dzongkha, Samtsi and Gyelipu is expected to boost tourism in the eastern and southern districts. The foreign minister said this during the question-hour session at the National Assembly recently. The minister also highlighted several other plans and initiatives that can help promote tourism in those districts.
The western part of the country is perceived as a hotspot tourist destination. Foreign Minister Dr. Tanjidoji says tourists visiting the eastern and the southern districts were minimal even in the past with the $65 sustainable development fee. He says tourists not traveling to these districts have become a trend. However, according to the minister, tourists are likely to visit these districts after opening the 3 new entry points. While Bhutan is fully prepared for this, he added the government is waiting for the Indian government to get ready. The government's plan to establish another international airport either in Mongar or Gyelipu is also expected to enhance tourism in the eastern and southern districts.
땡같이 샤초 종카 듄루 다실 조니기 된루 대콩기 레림 샤인 세미치라 sustainable hospitality industries inclusive of nature entrepreneurs 세미치 구추이 세슈니비 아니디 종카 듄둘루 쪼 뗀디기베 대조도 세슈니비라.
The minister added it is a 2.3 million euro project to promote tourism in these districts. The districts are also encouraged to come up with the tourism developmental activities to attract tourists.
디다치카 UNDP기 가툴레 나체 중단점치 치카랄린 탑시나 도라스 유치 사야 지다 차게 베미치 데 잠링 리다 셈체기 레림기 톨레베 땡같이 종카 타시야체 타시가 륜치 몽가다 심가기 종카나루 슈테니기 된루 레림 레샤치라 조도 시슈니비나.
According to the minister, people should know that irrespective of the places tourists visit, the fees collected by the government from tourists will be used for the well-being of all citizens. In addition to the 3 new entry points, the government is also planning to open entry points at Nganglam, Banbang and Thamoy Dzongkha. Kiletim for BBS News.
The members of parliament will also be getting designated duty vehicles if the pay structure reform bill of Bhutan is passed by both the houses. The Economic and Finance Committee of the National Assembly proposed this recommendation, which the House passed on Wednesday.
The Pay Structure Reform Bill of Bhutan 2022 actually proposes that designated duty vehicle be entitled to possession level EX3 and above until reviewed and rationalized by the government. However, the Economic and Finance Committee proposed the same entitlement for all members of parliament. The deputy chairperson of the committee said if given duty vehicle, they will do away with all the allowances, including the 1 million yoltam MPs get to purchase vehicle.
다림기 대업기 트위치 도미디 동라 주담디에 도코도 시신일 아직 같을 데베데베일 텔렌 디다치가 진종다 numgi tüdi tongra chudam die ngachi tokkoni be te tebe chokchuna sundi join sessionil telen shungi katule table chi kachdu sowachi tapchigu thomengil dam bum chudam die te darimgu phabdigi be te daure tongra churul habre be tebe chi jabdi du te tie mishu sengil.
But a few members were against the recommendation. Some even questioned the sustainability of procuring duty vehicles for all 58 MPs.
Dato ajira designated vehicle gakabnalu halam gupchudichi ebegi imese junila da ngachi timi chisogi timichu da jemi lembogi goni jemi chokpenda tizin matiwabe bewachin daru ngapchu nga gedichi te jungi gari nyogobe se junila te ngara katole bewachin di The
issue was raised today as well, and the opposition leader expressed his concerns about the cost of purchasing duty vehicles for all MPs. He said it will cost not less than 208 million yoltam to purchase vehicles for all MPs, which is more than 3 times the 1 million vehicle purchasing allowance.
람삼디 때 투미리로 붐주탐레 짐바친 때 사치고 사양압중하게 멜라 다르게 레비즘 집에 마치게 거리지 뇨징 저집에 왔진 거리 뇨니게 들레라 때 거리 레레루 붐 섬처 소두베 시잡았진 때 거리 섬처 납중하게루라 사야 니자 게 조님의 슈니라.
However, some members still supported the committee's recommendation. They said the vehicle can be used for 10 to 15 years.
마바 세도디 팀치디 탱지 뇽고르 뇽베와신 지용가에 미실라 데 뇽고르 디기 롱아기 된 레제니나 세와신 메세 슈닐라 롱우추 담쟁아 센세 주수스 슈닐라 데 지초 탱 숨숨데리 디기 차슈수 바신 데 제르데 데 지다 미치디 데 에와 레줌베제 바신 데 조르테세 슈닝 알바와신다.
The House adopted the recommendation with a show of hands. However, the members would not be getting driver allowance and fuel and maintenance allowance as per Section 31 and 32. Similarly, the lump sum amount of 1 million yoltam that MPs get for vehicle purchase, which the bill proposed would be given monthly on a prorated basis, is also revoked. As per the bill, the entitlement will be valid until the government reviews and rationalizes. Giledim for BBS News.
With education loans now available in most commercial banks, hundreds of people wanting to study abroad have been flocking at the financial establishments. But it isn't all smooth sailings. The education loans, which have resumed as a revised product, has some new terms and conditions, such as the loan being divided into 2 schemes. And customers say this has been causing confusion and additional work.
The banks say they are receiving more than 100 applications every day. Currently, the Bank of Bhutan, Bhutan National Bank and Druk Punjab National Bank are providing the loan products. Inside the banks, people say there are a lot of formalities which is confusing everyone.
The inconvenience the head office
We have to come all the way to the head office. If the banks could open these services in the branch offices, it would help people like us. Since it has just started, there's a rush at the banks. They have mentioned to come to the head office, but updating the checklist in their websites would ease us to compile documents before proceeding.
All family members ki no objection letter goes.
There was a lot of confusion when we go to DRC and then try to obtain a document, they themselves don't know what kind of document we are looking for. Even we saw this one in the form, we went along with the BOB form and then saw them saying that number 8, what actually they are mentioning that. They themselves are in confusion and we are in lots of confusion, and then they happen to call to the BOB and then ask what actually BOB is going to, produce want documents from the DRC. In the similar way, we are also even asked to produce the documents from NLC. I'm happy too also because government has played very vital role in order to push us to go abroad and then study. It's a good idea, but now I myself in a doubt whether how fast I'm going to get a loan.
The education loans are provided under 2 schemes, secured and unsecured. The banks give up to 3.5 million yutam under the unsecured scheme and 5 million yutam under the secured scheme. One does not need to provide collateral for the unsecured loan, but it is necessary under the secured scheme. Individuals aged 18 to 35 are eligible for the unsecured loan. The applicants have to submit documents, including a certificate from the National Land Commission proving that the applicants and their family do not own land or properties worth more than 3.5 million yutam. The applicants also have to submit a tax clearance certificate proving that the family's annual earning is less than 1 million yutam. The applicant should also submit a report from the Credit Information Bureau to confirm that they did not take loans from other financial institutes. Those who are ineligible for the unsecured scheme can take a secured loan. For this, they will have to submit a lagtham or the land ownership certificate and the no objection certificate from the property owner. It will be kept as collateral until the loan is liquidated. According to the banks, the unsecured loans are meant for applicants who are not stable financially.
This is unique because it's not only about parking it and then blocking it. So we are going to issue the loan, park it in the CASA account, and then accordingly, if they require the disbursement, it's going to happen. In saying so, the requirements that we have placed, like the tax clearance certificate, the NLC clearance certificate, all these are required in order to make them, in order to classify them under unsecured.
So for both, the checklist of documents to be submitted is provided by RMA. We do not have any specific requirement that was designed by ourselves. So unsecured Behochin, we provide you with a loan of up to 35 lakhs. And for that, unsecured means you are not able to provide a collateral for that loan. So to prove that you do not have the collateral required by a bank, you have to bring 3 documents in total.
The Druk PNB provides education loans only under the secured scheme. The RMA issued a notification about a week ago announcing that education loans would resume under revised guidelines. The banks have, however, set varying interest rates for the same loan products. The BOB charges 8.5% interest for secured loan and 9.5% for the unsecured loan. BNBL provides unsecured loan at 10% interest rate and secured loan for 9%. Druk PNB provides unsecured loan at 10.5% interest and 9.5% for secured. For Krishna Gale, Snampem for BBS News.
Tourists trekking the mountains of Bhutan can expect themselves in the company of guides trained in medical care. Should there be any mishap or fatal accidents, their guides will be equipped to treat and care for them like healthcare workers. Rotary Club of Thimphu, with support from the Kesakepo University of Medical Sciences, trained close to 30 tour guides recently.
People are scattered all over the courtyard, some lying on yoga mats, while some observe the situation with concerned looks on their faces. It is a scene created by the tour guides undergoing first aid training at the Kesakepo University of Medical Sciences in Thimphu. They are trained to care for tourists during emergency situations, especially in remote areas where access to professional healthcare service is not possible. The chairman of the Guide Association of Bhutan said there were incidences where a few people had been injured and even died due to unpreparedness in such situations.
There are a few cases where people have actually succumbed to even injuries. Some people even died because of altitude sickness, and especially tourists. Few tourists have died. Even one or two trekking crews also have died. And then the other thing is that there were also a lot of injuries, where they have broken their leg, hand, and limbs, and the guides were not professionally trained to do splinting in those things.
The trainers said the comprehensive training, which is the first of its kind in Bhutan, is important for guides in the country given the rugged trekking trails.
We have done this kind of basic program, which is not purely for the guides, some generic kind of programs, but this time this is purely focused on tour guides, and it's much more intensive.
There are many times guides find themselves in situations where they're far away from roads, and there might not be helicopter weather, and there might not be any transport, and so having some knowledge on how to treat clients in those hours or sometimes days before they get to the hospital, I think is going to be very rewarding both for the guides and also increasing safety for their clients and tourists coming to Bhutan.
In the following months, the medical staff will be training the rest of the tourist guides as well. The course is supported by the Rotary Foundation, the Rotary Club of Honolulu Sunset, based in the US. Phuntsholing Sunampem for BBS News.
An outbreak of African swine fever has been reported in Dewathanggyok of Samdrup Dzongkha. 11 pigs in a piggery in Gezur village reportedly died within 17 days. According to a livestock official, the owner of the piggery had brought all 15 of his pigs from Mongar and Sirang. However, they have not been able to ascertain the source. Meanwhile, to prevent further outbreak, officials have intensified monitoring and also cordoned off the outbreak area. African swine fever is a deadly and highly contagious viral swine disease that can affect both domestic and wild pigs. However, the disease does not affect humans. Following the recent incident where 10 detainees escaped from the detention center in Thimphu, the police say they will revisit and upgrade the security system in detention centers across the country. The plan includes installing sufficient CCTV cameras in detention centers, especially in Thimphu.
The police rearrested all the 10 detainees who escaped from the Thimphu detention center. The rearrest of the first detainee from Takti along the Thimphu-Phuntsholing highway led to the rearrest of other prisoners. There were 7 police personnel guarding the detention center that night. The detainees were arrested for drug trafficking, burglary, rape and voluntary manslaughter. According to the Deputy Chief of Police of the Crime and Operations Division, Colonel Pasang Doji, police are investigating the lapses which will take at least 10 days. Police said all those who were involved in the escape plan will be dealt with according to the law. The Deputy Chief of Police assured that no such incident occurs in the future. Meanwhile, netizens raised concerns about the safety of the public, security lapses and relocation of the Thimphu detention center, among others. For Krishna Gale, Sringzam, BBS News.
That is all we have for you this week. Thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.
Introducing BNB MP Monthly Sweepstakes. Use MP and win exciting prizes. 14 prizes every month, from free City Bus smart cards to free data and more. Use MP and get paid.
The Department of Agricultural Marketing and Cooperatives, Ministry of Agriculture and Forests, invites expression of interest from youth and farmer groups to operate the farm shops through franchise mode. The selected franchisee will be provided with 3 years rent-free use of the structure. There are 128 farm shops available. Franchisee will have to prioritize on selling and hiring of farm inputs and selling basic food and essential commodities. The EOI will be assessed based on the specifications notified in the EOI template. The EOI template can be emailed to ktenzin@moaf.gov.bt within 15th of December 2022 before 11 a.m. For more details, please call 02322909 or 17551028 or 17675401. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service is looking to recruit 3 assistant ICT officers to manage our company's computer and server systems. As an IT engineer, you will be responsible for hardware configurations, installing software, managing network systems, and training staff on correct operating procedures. BBS is a broadcast company and you would be responsible for learning how to maintain the broadcast servers and related equipment. Interested applicants must have minimum qualification of Bachelor in Computer Science or Bachelor of Science in Information Technology or Bachelor in Information Technology or BE in Information Technology or Bachelor in Computer Application. Interested candidates may apply along with all relevant documents within 16th of December 2022 before 5 p.m. The written test will be held on 24th of December 2022. For any inquiry, please contact the HR section at 02322600 during office hours, or you may log on to www.bbs.bt.
The Bhutan Broadcasting Service would like to re-invite bids from eligible bidders for the supply of music gadgets. A complete set of bidding documents can be purchased from the procurement section during office hours. Tender documents must be submitted within 29th of November 2022 before 10:30 a.m. and it will be opened on the same day at 11 a.m. For more details, please log on to www.bbs.bt or call 02322600 or you may email at procurement@bbs.bt@gmail.com. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service would like to re-invite sealed bids from eligible firms for the supply of encoder decoder sets. Tender documents must be submitted to the procurement section head office of BBS in Thimphu within 29th of November 2022 before 10:30 a.m. and it will be opened on the same day at 11 a.m. A complete set of bidding documents can be purchased from our procurement section during working hours. For further information, please log on to www.bbs.bt or call 02322600 during office hours or you may email at procurement@bbs.bt@gmail.com. The Bhutan Broadcasting Service is pleased to announce that a national quiz on science and technology is being organized as part of the National Day celebrations this year. The aim of the quiz is to impart knowledge on science and technology in a fun format. Therefore, BBS would like to seek sponsors to fund the nationwide quiz on science and technology. Your contributions will be highly appreciated as it will greatly improve the standard of the quiz show. The sponsorship pledge can be made immediately till 30th of November 2022. Please call 1764 4457 1797 9567 1767 2937 or 1736-5147 for your sponsorship pledge for the National Quiz on Science and Technology 2022.
Here are a few tips to help you take care of your mental health. Number 1. Talk to someone you trust. Talking to someone you trust, whether a friend, a family member, or a colleague, can help. You may feel better if you are able to openly share what you are going through with someone who cares about you. If you live in an area where face-to-face interactions are limited, you can still stay connected with your loved ones through a video call, phone call, or messaging app. Number 2. Look after your physical health. Taking care of your physical health helps improve your mental health and well-being. Be active for at least 30 minutes daily, whether that's running, walking, yoga, dancing, cycling, or even gardening. Eat a balanced and healthy diet. Make sure to get enough sleep. Number 3. Do activities that you enjoy. Try to continue doing the activities that you find meaningful and enjoyable, such as cooking for yourself or your loved ones, playing with your pet, walking in the park, reading a book, or watching a film or TV series. Having a regular routine with activities that make you feel happy will help you maintain good mental health. Number 4. Steer away from the use of harmful substances. Don't use harmful substances such as drugs, alcohol, or tobacco to cope with what you're feeling. Though this may seem to help you feel better in short term, they can make you feel worse in the long run. Number 5. Take 2 minutes to focus on the world around you. Simply take 3 slow deep breaths, feel your feet grounded on the floor, and ask yourself, what are the 5 things I can see? What are the 4 things I can hear? What can I smell? How does it feel under my fingers? Number 6. Seek professional help. If you feel like you cannot cope with the stress that you are facing, seek professional help by calling your local mental health helpline or getting in touch with your counselor or doctor. Remember, you are not alone, and there are things you can do to support your emotional well-being.
Kazambo, I'm Chonizuk Selden with the news in English in the headlines. His Holiness the Dzongkha consecrates Sangye Minjul Haga in Phuntsholing. Bhutan launches second satellite into space. And Phuntsholing hosts mega live music event to boost local economy. His Holiness the Dzongkha has consecrated the Sangye Minjul Haga in Phuntsholing. As part of the event today, a Jitimilareba Thondre was also unfurled. Hundreds of devotees attended the event and received blessings. The magnificent structure atop the hill of Wandi Gatsil is a replica of the Serka Gutol Haga in Tibet, built by the enlightened Tibetan scholar Jitimilareba. Construction of the monastery began in 2013. Bhutan has achieved another historical and significant technological milestone with the successful launch of the second satellite. The nano-satellite launched today, named the India-Bhutan Sat, has a vast capacity for application which will benefit various sectors in the country. The Prime Minister Dr. Lote Tshering presented the message from His Majesty the King, thanking the Indian government, the Indian Space Research Organization, and the team for the successful launch of the satellite.
Bhutan made its first entry into space with the launch of the Bhutan 1 CubeSat, an educational satellite weighing about a kilogram, more than 4 years ago. It was more of a capacity development project for the Bhutanese space engineers. But more than this, it provided the confidence to start a bigger endeavor for Bhutan. The satellite launched today weighs about 18 kilograms and has 2 major functions. The primary capability is to acquire satellite images using a high-resolution camera, and the second is to transmit radio signals from space.
We have a camera payload on this present satellite, and this is going to give us images of the Earth at 29 meters resolution. Earlier we didn't have these features on the satellite. This one we are going to use it for real-life applications in various sectors such as the Department of Forest and Park Services, Department of Human Settlement, Department of Geology and Mines, and Department of Energy.
India-Bhutan Sat is a joint satellite project between the Royal Government of Bhutan and the Government of India. The plan was initiated by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi following his visit to the country in 2019. It was launched by the Indian Space Research Organization along with India's Earth Observation Satellite 03, also known as OceanSat-3, and 7 other nanosatellites. Bhutanese journalists who are currently in India through the Indian Embassy also witnessed the historic launch. Kizong Wangmo for BBS News.
There is a need for a charging station for electric vehicles in Thonsa. Without a proper charging point, the EVs in the district have to be charged at home, which is inconvenient as well as time-consuming. Moreover, this is also discouraging interested people in Thonsa from getting electric vehicles.
Without a charging station, this is how an electric vehicle in Thonsa is charged. The vehicle's battery is restored using a long cable line and plugging it in an electric socket inside a house. Charging an electric vehicle like this takes several hours. According to Penjo, who got an electric vehicle around 6 months ago, it takes around 12 hours to fully charge the batteries of his car. He says it takes longer if there are power outages.
We
charge our vehicles from the shops. The roads are narrow and there aren't any parking spaces as well. We pay the shops for using their electricity.
At present, there are only 2 electric vehicles in Thonsa and both are taxis. And while there is interest from other cab drivers to switch to electric vehicles, the lack of a public charging station has held them back from doing so.
We see many different electric vehicles in Thimphu and it makes us want to buy one too. But looking at the situation here, we are not very sure about doing so.
I think a place was identified to set up a charging point, but it has been about a year now since then. We haven't seen any works happening.
But works to solve this problem seems to be already underway. As per the Road Safety and Transport Authority, a project to install charging stations in 14 districts including Thonsa is in progress. In the district, works to connect the identified site with power lines for the charging points were recently completed. The project has been scheduled to finish by the end of next month. For Passing in Thonsa, this is Pemal Hardin, BBS News.
After cordyceps collection was made legal in 2004, many Highlanders changed professions. The once popular yak-rearing culture among the people of Layagyog and Gasa started to slowly disappear as many found collecting cordyceps more profitable. The shortage of fodder and rural-urban migration also forced some Highlanders to stop rearing yaks. However, in recent years, this has changed because of support and continued awareness by the government on the importance of rearing yaks.
Some 3 decades ago, this scene would be nothing out of the ordinary. A family alone would own all these yaks, but in the last few decades, many Highlanders have moved away from rearing yaks. It took the Royal Highland Festival to bring these yaks together. However, it won't be long before a family of Highlanders own as many yaks. Many Highlanders are taking interest in reviving the yak rearing culture because of support from the government.
We are getting full support for free from the livestock side. They are providing us with CGI sheets during winter in our yak herding places and also providing feed where there are no grasses for our yaks. They are also providing us with breeding stock.
Initially, I did not have yaks as I have many siblings at home. So, I got a yak and calf as silver from His Majesty the Fort Trigalbo. So, I bought a few and also my parents gave me some. With the number of yaks, now I have more than 50 and am planning to rear the yaks till I die.
The future of yak rearing in Laya looks promising with many younger generations taking a keen interest in this culture. Some youth have even decided to stay back in their village after completing their studies.
Yaks are my favorite animal and we can also make a good income from rearing them. I feel at peace with our yaks. Moreover, my mother is old now and finds it difficult to handle the animals.
I'm helping my parents look after yaks since they do not have others to help them.
The government also supports them with other necessary help such as milk churning equipment, financial support for growing and fencing fodder, and facilitating loans for procuring yaks.
We have developed new feeds for yaks, horses, and sheep for the first time in the country this year. We have also invented feed blocks from grasses that people can carry wherever they go with their yak.
The Department of Livestock also launched more than 200 doses of yak semen straw for the first time in the country during the Royal Highland Festival this year in Laya. This is expected to improve the quality of yaks. According to livestock officials, Highlanders will get the best breed of yaks from different regions of the country through artificial insemination. Gasa district has about 6,500 yaks as per the registration record of last year. The number is expected to increase considerably, with many families seeing the sustainability of yak rearing. With climate change disrupting the yields of cordyceps and the market dependent on the global economic situation, yak rearing is expected to take the center stage for the Highlanders again. For Doji in Gasa, this is Kezawamo for BBS News.
Once a booming business, poultry farming in Sarbang now seems to be on the decline. Farmers are shutting down their poultry business and looking at other opportunities. The reason? Low egg prices in the market amid soaring production costs.
About 10 poultry farmers who are members of Sarbang Layer Cooperative have closed their business for good. They have shut down about 2 months ago. Some of them have switched to mushroom farming to earn a living. Others are also planning to switch to another profession.
The rise in feed price and decreasing egg price in the market has forced me to sell 2,000 hens as I incurred a loss of 14,000 ngultram every week.
We couldn't sustain our poultry farms due to the increase in feed price, and the cooperative also stopped collecting eggs from us. With no income in hand, we have closed the business.
I've given up on the poultry farming since it wasn't sustainable, considering the soaring production costs and declining egg prices in the market.
The Sarbang Layer Cooperative stopped collecting eggs from its members about 4 months ago. The cooperative supplied eggs to other districts like Thimphu, Shemgang, Trongsa and Wangdi since 4 months ago. According to the cooperative, they suffered losses since eggs do not fetch good price. Farmers were paid 1,850 Newton for a carton of eggs, but the cooperative says it was not possible to recoup that amount from the market. For Karmawandi in Sarbang, this is Pemal Hardin, BBS News.
Farmers in Shemgang have found an alternative farming business to supplement their income. More of them are trying to revive fish farming, which is gradually becoming popular in the district. According to the villagers, the government-supported business is faring well and has become one of the preferred alternative sources of income for the villagers. Shemgang has 10 fisheries.
38-year-old Pema Tinle of Thonglajong village in Dongkha is one of the farmers who started reviving fish farming in Jemgang last year. He had turned the once barren pond at Brumbri into a beautiful fish pond. He has around 10,000 fingerlings of rohu and mrigal species in the fish pond, which spans over half an acre. Just recently, Pema Tinle and his fellow villagers carried out the first harvest. He considers fish farming one of the most lucrative businesses among all livestock farming. He says the profit from the business is really good as not much work is required in raising fish. A kilogram of fish earns him 250 ngitam.
My family encouraged me to revive fish farming on a trial basis. The pond was left barren and then I carried out fish farming in it. Initially, I nurtured about 10,000 fingerlings. I'm not sure how much it would produce later, but I feel it would give more than the expected numbers since it is at a growing stage right now.
Pema Pema says a lot of people are interested in fish farming, but not all can pursue it due to the stigma and religious sentiments fish farming involves. Having decided to remain unbothered by it all, Pema now plans to raise different fish species and start a mini commercial fish farming next year.
I will use the income generated from the business to raise my children because there is no other source of income for me. So I have decided to do fish farming with full dedication to boost the business.
According to livestock officials of Tonggeok, many farmers expressed interest in fish farming over the last few years. As a result, the Geok administration is constructing an additional mega fish farm.
Dangbara, the zing zoni gi dinlo, the tuche disogi ngachi japchur jindo seshinila.
Firstly, we provide them with machinery equipment to make ponds. After that, we support them in bringing water into the pond by giving them water pipes. We also supply fingerlings free of cost once the pond is ready.
Gara dadi jo sasimle te analu ngachi gi da netu diswe te shungi khatule.
Meanwhile, back in Sanglojong village, Pematile is already counting profits from his year-old fish pond. He's expecting it will produce over 500 kgs of fishes at the end of the season. For Pema Samdrup in Jemgam, this is Kezawangmo for BBS News.
The Phuntsholing Mega Night has been drawing a huge crowd with thousands in attendance every day. The live music event is expected to bring back the liveliness of the city and help revive the local economy. The 5-day event began yesterday.
Claimed the country's first mega live music event, 19 local bands will perform at the PAC football ground every night, starting from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Besides live performances and DJ nights, there are stalls selling food, drinks and various merchandise, and a live World Cup match screening. Stall owners, who mostly run restaurants and bars, have set high hopes.
For the past 2 years, we have not been able to do good business due to the prolonged lockdown caused by COVID-19. We hope this event will help us make some income, but the rent of 7,000 yutrams every day is a concern.
Even though we are residing nearby border areas, we feel it does not benefit us much. We're not able to compete whether it's business or anything. As such, as a hotelier, for now, the only hope is this event. After the introduction of SDF, not many tourists are coming to our hotels.
According to the Phuntsholing from the office, the event will not only help boost the local economy, but also help make Phuntsholing an entertainment hub.
Since the border gate reopening on 23rd September, local businesses here have been hampered with lesser customers coming to their shops. Moreover, the town has not seen a good business opportunity in the last few years. That is why we are organizing this event. We are expecting visitors from the 20 districts and nearby bordering town as well.
The Tromde has plans to organize such events annually if the event is successful this time. The Mega Night event will end on Tuesday. For Pasang Doji in Phuntsholing, Yisha Gelson, BBS News.
And now a reminder of the headlines. His Holiness the Chekhyambo consecrates Sangye Minjul Haga in Phuntsholing. Bhutan launches second satellite into space. And Phuntsholing hosts mega live music event to boost local economy. And now the weather update from the National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology. The next 3 days will be mostly sunny across the country. Gusty wind is likely over isolated places in the west and north. That brings us to the end of the news today. For more details and updates, visit www.bbs.bt. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.
Introducing BNB MPay monthly sweepstakes. Use MPay and win exciting